Hey, this is Yasuki Wolf, and you're watching JapanQuest, the first of a series of videos I'd like to do describing my experiences here in Japan over the past 7+ years. So I'm going to be doing this series of videos, the JapanQuest videos, and then I'm also going to be doing that in conjunction with my manga workshop videos and also some illustration videos that I'll be putting up from time to time. So I guess the first question at hand is, why am I in Japan? Uh, why did I come here? It's a question I'm asked quite often, actually. Like, what is it about Japan that made you decide to come here? And a lot of people have very simple answers to that. They can say things like, well, I got a job in Japan. My company transferred me here. I wanted to be an English teacher. I wanted to do this. I wanted that. Very like quick things, or like I like anime, or like I like manga. It's just very quick and simple type of answers. But for me, I think it's something that goes a bit deeper. My first memories of Japan, well, my first memories of liking Japan, go back to as far back as I can remember. I pretty much had an infatuation with Japan for as far as I can remember. Like anyone who knew me at any point in my life, if they were to hear today that I live in Japan, I don't think anyone would be surprised. They'd be like, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I see that, you know." Like, so the earliest memory I have is, I don't know how old I was, but I remember that I was at a party, and it was like a family party or group get together or something, and it definitely wasn't something directed for me. I mean, it was some type of get together where everyone was like, all these adults were talking to each other, and I was just kind of a kid there, just being very bored and whatnot. And so at some point I ended up going up to someone's room and was looking at the books that they had, and they had this really big book about ninjas and samurais and like the whole feudal period, warring states period of Japan. And I was like looking at those and like, "Oh, what's this?" And the guy'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's a samurai." And I'm like, "Oh, what's that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's a ninja." I was like, "Okay, what's the difference between a samurai and a ninja?" And now I think he's just trying to make it simple for the kid to understand. So don't think that this is what I actually think the difference is. But he said to me, I remember him saying, the ninjas are the bad guys and the samurais are the good guys. And I was like, "Oh, cool. Well, I want to be a samurai." And he was like, "Ah, all right, yeah, good luck with that." But I don't remember exactly anything else about the conversation. I don't remember the situation very well at all. I don't even remember who the guy is that told me that. But I do know that, well, within a couple years, I was dressed up as a samurai for Halloween. My mom took cardboard and wrapped it with like foil, and like we had like silver foil and like gold foil that we used as like armor and stuff. And I put that on, and I went out in Halloween as a samurai. And then like I remember in grade school, me and a couple of my friends, we got together and we made this group called the Infinite Clan, and we had like notebooks filled with like all our like rosters of like who were the members of the clan and how many points they had, and we would like get together after school and like, I don't know, we would pretend to be ninja or something. I don't know exactly. I can't remember exactly what we did, but I know we often like would like have like little play fights with each other, and we would walk around on buildings and like try to balance on top of fences and like just lots of like random stuff like that, all part of our like ninja training or whatnot. But yeah, and then I remember eventually, but like, well, I guess before I go there, the thing is that so I said that those are my earliest memories, but I got pictures of myself when I was really young being really like into Japanese stuff that I don't even have memories of. So that's why it's been like forever that I've just been into Japan, and it's been like a part of me. So like coming here just seemed very natural. I mean, like here, even in Japan, like I use chopsticks very well, and a lot of times when I'm in a restaurant or when I go out with someone, they're like, "Oh wow, you use chopsticks really well." And it's like, I mean, I take it as a compliment, but it's not like I came to Japan and I was like, "Okay, now I'm in Japan, I gotta learn how to use chopsticks." No, I've been using chopsticks pretty much all my life. Whenever I had a chance to eat some Asian food or something, I would grab the chopsticks. I didn't use forks and stuff, like I got this picture of myself like when I was, I don't know how old, like already trying to learn chopsticks. I have vague memories of learning to use chopsticks properly. Um, I don't know, like maybe first, second grade. I don't really know, but like I remember I was a kid and some person came to the school and like explained to us how to use chopsticks as like some type of like cultural like event or something. I don't know, but and then I like worked really hard to learn from there. And I had a half Japanese friend when I was in grade school, and he taught me how to count to 10 in Japanese and some basic like aisatsu, some basic phrases like ohayo gozaimasu and konnichiwa and stuff like that. And so like I knew that those types of stuff for my whole life basically. Like I learned it when I was like 8 or something. I don't know. But then got to high school, and I remember somewhere around high school was the first time I saw anime. I think the first thing I saw was Hokuto no Ken. Wait, no. The first thing I saw was Akira, and then the second thing I saw was Hokuto no Ken, which is in English is called Fist of the North Star. And then after that I started, like, back then it was nothing like it was now where like everyone knew what anime was. Back then we didn't even call it anime, it was called Japanimation, and you had to stay up really late at night and watch the Sci-Fi Channel to see if they showed you some type of anime movie or something. And I would just watch movies like that, like Ninja Scroll I think was something we watched back then. Don't remember what else was there, like, but yeah, Ninja Scroll, Fist of the North Star, that all that type of stuff. And then later on, you know, around high school, I think it was when Pokemon came out, and that became a huge sensation over in the U.S. And like ever since Pokemon had their like big boom, then after that everything started coming over, you know, and the anime like Yu-Gi-Oh and like lots of just random like Digimon, like all these just random type of stuff just started like coming over because everyone wanted to be the next Pokemon. So like ever since then, like I seriously remember like before you go to a bookstore, there was no manga section. I mean, basically, if you could go to like a comic book store and maybe they'd have a couple manga like on the side in Japanese, but then like after the whole Pokemon boom thing, you go to a store and like first they had like one little section like this. That's all like no, like they have like one little section like this. This is with manga or something. And then next time you go there, it's like a whole freaking like row of manga, like the whole area is like this is the manga section and stuff. And so yeah, but there was that whole big boom. So like, but you know, I was into Japan not just because of anime, not just because of manga. You know, I really was into the whole culture. Well, and when I take culture, I'm saying the history more so than because I didn't really know what modern Japan was like. But I was really enthralled by the old school, like feudal period, Warring States period Japan. I remember I was really interested in Miyamoto Musashi. He's probably the most famous samurai. He wrote a book called the Golden no Sho, which is the Book of Five Rings, and I read the English translation of that when I was, I think, in high school, and we bought. I was the president of the martial arts club for a while, and we bought shinai, which are like bamboo swords, and we would have like battles with that. And now I did eventually do kendo, so I know what actually real kendo is, the actual real thing. But like back then, I can't really call it kendo because in kendo you have your bamboo sword, and you also have a full set of armor that you wear, and it's very strict there's very strict rules about how you actually do these battles, how you do your shiai, your matches and stuff. So like what we did. First off, the armor is crazy expensive. It's like $500+ to buy the armor. We're high school kids. We're not going to spend that. So we just spent like $20, got our bamboo swords, and we would just go out into like the park or like some forest preserve or something, and we would just go and have our battles like that. And we had a lot of fun. You know, it was really hardcore stuff sometimes, like just 3-on-1 matches, 2-on-1 matches, 2-on-2 matches. We'd be like running through the park, stuff that you would never be able to do in a kendo class. Like we would just like be jumping on top of cars and stuff, and like or like climbing trees, whatever. And it was pretty intense. And like if you're gonna do stuff like that, I mean that's cool and all, but just to warn you, it is dangerous. We never had any issues, but I mean, first off, we would just control ourselves. Like we wouldn't swing the sword at full force when you're actually going to hit a person. I mean, you'd have some control, like, about what you're doing. And the same type of thing, before that, when the martial arts club, we used to have, like, sparring matches, and it was the same thing. We didn't equip ourselves with, like, full, like, padding and stuff. We just controlled ourselves, you know, if you're going to if you're going to punch someone, instead of like going full force and hitting them as hard as you can, you just go, you move really fast, but then you just kind of tap them so they know that they got hit, you know, just like boom, like that. You just like a tap instead of being like a full force punch. And the same thing with the swords, like we just didn't. We had control. We didn't take it like a bat and swing. There was one kid that always did that, and we would always get pissed off at him. He was like, "Man, you can't just throw it like a freaking bat. You're gonna you just have some control, man, or else you're not gonna be able to do this with us anymore." But he used to like just wind up and be like, and then, yeah, you just had to hear the wind just like when he swung it, and we'd all be like, no, you can't do that, all right? We don't have any armor or anything. And I mean, it's a bamboo sword, so it's not gonna hurt that bad. I mean, it will hurt bad, but it's not gonna like do that huge damage. But there is a danger that, I mean, sometimes in actual kendo matches, like the bamboo can break and like splinter off, and the splinters can stab you and stuff, and like get in your eye and stuff. So there is dangers there. So we never had any issues. Like I said, no one ever really got hurt. But like, it is the internet. I don't want people just like oh well, I saw on this internet video, so I did it, and then someone got stabbed. You know, like just keep in mind that there is dangers involved. But anyways, so yeah, we did that for a long time. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, so like I said, I was into Miyamoto Musashi. I ended up reading like a 1,000-page like novel about his life. It's not really about his life, but it's a novelization of his life. It's called Musashi. I'd like to read that in Japanese sometime. I actually have it in Japanese. Yeah, this is it. Miyamoto Musashi. This is part 8. So like, it's a pretty. You have to get all the parts together, and it's a pretty long thing. But I read it all already in English. I haven't read it in Japanese yet because this would be quite a long project, I think, to get around to reading that. But I would like to read it in Japanese. But yeah, so like I read that, and like I was really enthralled with the whole samurai culture and everything. And you know, then I got into manga too, and you know. We'll get more into the manga stuff too as I talk about when I was trying to become a mangaka in Japan, and the whole like process of what I went through in the manga school and everything. But okay, so where was I? So like I really liked Musashi. I really liked samurai culture, and then after that I came to college, and I had a chance to go to Japan. Basically, for a number of reasons, I assumed that even though I really did like Japan and really wanted to come to Japan, I assumed that wasn't going to be a possibility. I mentioned it a little bit in my other video, but like I wasn't so well off that like it would be an easy thing to just be like, okay, let's just go to Japan. It was a very far off thing. It was something that was not readily available. It was kind of like a dream, a pipe dream, basically. So, you know, I was like, well, like I told you before, like I had a lot of things that I wanted to do, but I didn't think I would be able to do it. So I was trying to think realistically. Like, I'd really love to go to Japan. I'd really love to make games. I'd love to be an artist and all this stuff. But, you know, I gotta be realistic. Gotta find a good job that's gonna pay for like take care of me, and trying to be very realistic in my ways of thinking. So I spent a lot of years of my life just kind of wandering, like taking real strange courses like through my life, because I was avoiding what I really wanted to do, because I thought that I wouldn't be able to. I thought I didn't have that confidence, because I didn't know other people that were doing it. Everyone I knew were just doing their regular like 9-to-5 type jobs, and they didn't really have any connection to what they were doing. It was just like that's what they needed to do to make a living. So even though I had things that I definitely wanted to do, I didn't have the confidence to know that I would be able to succeed in those things. So I was trying to find other ways to secure my my living arrangements and my income and stuff. So that's why, like, that's probably the reason why I am just now achieving things that, like, people at my work, they're all like 6-10 years younger than me, because they started right away in that area. But with me, like, I went around a lot of corners and wandered around a lot trying to do other things. That was some other stuff that happened too. But anyway, so like, where was I? So like, I went to college though, and I had a history class, and then we got to choose which country we wanted to be the expert of. So like every time there was like a every month or something, we had to get in front of the class and talk about what that period of time was, what was happening in our country, not our physical country, but our country that we had specialized in. And so I specialized in Japan. So like I would give the lectures about Japan whenever whenever we entered a new like area of time, and the teacher would be like, let's talk about what happened in your countries, and I would come up and I would talk on behalf of Japan about what was going on in Japan in that period of time. And it ends up that my college had a study abroad program to go to Japan, which I didn't really know about. I don't know why I didn't, but yeah, we had one. And my history teacher, and I'm really thankful to her to this day, like that she thought of this. But she said like, well, you really like Japan. And you're talking about it in our class, and I could see that you're really into that. So did you know that we have a study abroad program? And I was like, no, I didn't. And she let me know about this program that they had to go to Japan, and I talked to my mom, my parents about it and everything, and like it ends up that like we could actually do it pretty affordably because of some special like situations we had, but it ended up looking that I could do it. Like the money was it was possible to get the money together. It was possible to get over there, so and do the study abroad. So I was like, okay, cool. And so I got together about $10,000, I think, to go to Japan for half a year, and things worked out really well. I think I'm gonna go more into. I think that I'm gonna stop this around here and just get more into like the actual what happened when I got to Japan in my next video. But let's just say that I had a lot of really good luck, and I went to Japan with $10,000 to stay there for a year, and I got back with $5,000 left over. There was just a lot of good things that happened, and a lot of like I have to admit I was pretty I tried pretty hard to contain my money, but my spending and stuff. But in the most part, like I think it worked out really well. But anyways, so on my next video, well, I am still debating about whether I'm just going to keep doing these videos, or maybe I'm going to do one of these videos and then do a manga workshop and then do something else or whatever. But in my next JapanQuest vlog, whenever that's going to come out, I'm not sure if I'm going to do another video in between or whatnot. But my next JapanQuest vlog, number 2, is going to be about that first time when I came to Japan and what that experience was like in that first half year that I was here as a study abroad student with the exchange program from my school. Alright, so that's all for now. Take care, and we're still working on that outro. Yoshik.